All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer. Today, I'm not just your host. Think of me as your personal agricultural consultant. If you own land in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, you already know the unique hurdles our terrain throws at us. Well, today, I'm handing you a premium, step-by-step business plan to take those exact challenges and turn them into serious, sustainable profit using commercial bamboo. Welcome back. If you like what you see today, please subscribe, drop a like, and share this explainer with someone who'd love it. Seriously, I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this blueprint because the transformation we're going to talk about today is, well, it's a total game changer for your land. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for the consultation. First, the business plan. Then we'll tackle those stubborn alkaline soils, figure out exactly which variety to plant, go over some strict planting rules, map out nutrition and water, and finally, look at the economics and how to actually sell your crop. Section 1. The Bamboo Business Plan. So our overarching goal here is transforming your unused, degraded, or marginal land across Andhra Pradesh and Telangana into a real, highly lucrative green asset. Let me ask you a question that might hit a little close to home. Are you dealing with Chadu Bhumi? If you've got land in AP or Telangana, you absolutely know the frustration of these hard, alkaline patches. The soil basically feels like concrete, traditional crops just give up, and yields are terrible. It's a massive headache for thousands of farmers.
But I want to completely reframe this problem as a massive opportunity for you. What if I told you that with the right biological tool, your degraded land could look exactly like this thriving, lush bamboo plantation? Bamboo isn't just a regular plant. It is a literal ecological powerhouse that doesn't just survive in these harsh conditions, it thrives, and it actually restores the land over time.
Section 2. Conquering alkaline soils. Okay, before we stick a single plant in the dirt, we have to assess the specific chemistry of your soil, specifically what we call savudu or chaldu bhumi. This stuff is notorious. We're talking about alkaline soils with a pH that often shoots right past 8.0. It's packed with sodium, which literally causes the clay to disperse and pack down tight. The result? Severe soil compaction, water just pools on top without soaking in, and nutrients get completely locked up. Traditional crops fail here because their roots just hit a brick wall and they starve from deficiencies like iron chlorosis. But certain bamboo species, they are built entirely differently. Now, we still need to give our bamboo a fighting chance, and we're going to do that using natural farming protocols. Think back to ancient Indian history, right? Our ancestors didn't just look at dirt, they revered the soil as Bhumi Devi. They understood that nourishing the earth naturally was the ultimate key to abundant harvests. We're using that exact wisdom right here. To reclaim this soil, we bring in sulfur-oxidizing bacteria and we mix in exactly 80 tons per hectare of paddy husk ash to pull that pH down. Then we hit it with Jivamrutha twice a month. That wakes up the soil's biological life super fast.
Section 3. Choosing the right variety.
All right, once the soil is prepped, we hit the most critical strategic decision you're going to make as a commercial farmer, mapping the specific bamboo species to your exact rainfall and soil type. Don't just guess here, rely on the data. Let's look at two heavyweights, Bambusa Balcooa and Dendrocalamus strictus. Balcooa is awesome, super fast growing, but it's a bit of a diva. It demands heavy, fertile soil and tons of water, upwards of 1,200 to 2,000 millimeters of rain, or you need assured drip irrigation. On the flip side, strictus, also known as male bamboo, is your tough, drought-hardy warrior. It thrives on just 500 to 800 millimeters of rain, and it is highly tolerant of those dry, alkaline conditions.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how perfectly these choices map out to our local regions. Look, if you're out in the semi-arid zones of Telangana with spotty rain and that tough Chadu Bhumi, Dendrocalamus strictus is hands down your absolute best choice. It stays physiologically stable even with high soil salinity. But if you're lucky enough to be in the humid coastal belts of AP with rich soil, Balcooa or Bambusa bambos will give you massive biomass. Match the variety to the land and you eliminate half your risks immediately.
Section 4. Strict planting precautions. Even the best plan falls apart without strict discipline in the field. As your consultant, I gotta warn you, ignoring these steps is the #1 reason new plantations fail. So here is your exact timeline. Step 1. Dig your 60 by 60 centimeter pits in May. That intense summer sun bakes the soil, naturally killing off harmful fungi and bacteria. It's called solarization. Step 2. When your saplings finally arrive, let them chill in the shade for 5 days to acclimatize. Step 3, plant only in mid-June after the monsoons officially start.
The monsoon gives them that perfect, warm, humid hug they need for roots to pop. Plus, and this is a great bonus, because wild grass is sprouting everywhere during the monsoons, free-range animals will graze on that instead of eating your expensive young green bamboo.
Take a look at these healthy saplings right before planting. This is your benchmark. But wait, I need to issue a major topographical warning. Bamboo absolutely hates waterlogging. If you're planting on totally flat agricultural land where rainwater tends to pool, you have to create slightly raised mounds of soil, about 1.5 to 2 feet high, and plant the saplings in those. This keeps the root collars safely above the water line and prevents fatal root rot.
Section 5. Nutrition and Water Management.
Okay, once your saplings are safely in the dirt, remember this. People think bamboo requires zero maintenance. Compared to an orchard? Sure, but make no mistake, it is a heavy feeder. It's a nitrogen-hungry grass that needs precise support early on. We're sticking to our natural farming philosophy here. Your feeding regimen should include organic compost, wood ash, and green manures. This gives the roots all the potassium and nitrogen they crave without burning them up with synthetics. And crucially, you absolutely must practice akachadana, or organic mulching. By packing dry leaves or straw thick around the base of the clump, you kill off weeds and lock all that precious moisture deep in the soil.
And speaking of moisture, let's talk water. Bamboo needs a consistent drink during those first 2 critical years. By installing a proper drip irrigation system, you don't just ensure perfect hydration, you reduce your total water consumption by a whopping 40%. Seriously, out in the dry heat of AP and Telangana, a drip system isn't some fancy luxury, it is a vital insurance policy for your crop.
Section 6. Economics and Market Access.
All right, so you've put in the sweat, you've healed the soil, and protected the plants. Now, what's the return on your investment? Let's talk financial reality. Bamboo has a 5-year gestation timeline. It requires patience, but we plan for that. During years 1 through 3, the bamboo canopy is still wide open. I highly advise planting shade-loving intercrops like ginger or turmeric right between the rows to generate immediate cash flow. By year 4 or 5, you'll hit your very first commercial harvest. And by year 7 and beyond, you're hitting a peak yield of up to 25 tons per year.
Let's anchor this economic potential with a real number, rupees 350,000. Look, for an initial large-scale planting cost of roughly 150,000 rupees per acre, your expected maximum profit per acre can reach 350,000 rupees every alternate year once that grove is fully mature. And the best part? Because you only harvest the mature 3-year-old stalks and leave the baby shoots alone, your bamboo clump literally becomes a regenerating asset that yields continually for decades.
But of course, a crop is only as good as its market. Your strategy right here in AP and Telangana needs to be aggressive and direct. First, join local bamboo farmer producer organizations, or FPOs, so you have bulk negotiating power. Second, lock down direct contracts with massive regional buyers like ITC Batterchalam or Andhra Paper Limited. They are absolutely desperate for paper pulp. Or tap into the high-demand local construction and handicraft sectors. Plus, keeping it close to home drastically lowers your transport costs.
So the crucial point is this: just look at these harvested culms. Unlike fruits or vegetables that rot by Tuesday if they aren't sold immediately, bamboo is completely non-perishable. You can cut it, stack it, and just wait for the best price. This completely strips away the risk of being exploited by middlemen or traders when prices take a temporary dip. You hold all the power.
Well, we've walked through the science, the ancient natural farming wisdom, the strict execution timeline, and the immense financial upside. You have the blueprint in your hands. The only question left is, are you ready to stop fighting that Chaudu Vrishi Bhumi and start turning it into a generational green asset? Take this knowledge, respect the soil, and start your plantation. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.